Do you want to see what sent the usual crazy chatter even crazier recently? It was this tweet from WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston. It was hard to say. It basically read, though, after years of being the youthful promotion, AEW's median age of wrestler is now older than WWE's. You should just go through this thread, but obviously don't do that. It will blow your mind as you question why are we all getting so sad. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but one day we're all gonna die. Now, I have thoughts about this, hence this video, but I don't think it's as bad as it seems. And if nothing else, it probably just means that AEW is about to hit the reset button. Why? Here's why. First and foremost, do you know what is really important to every single wrestling promotion that has ever existed? Young and upcoming stars. Do you know what these companies also need, though? Experienced guys and girls that have been round the houses and know what they're doing. This is not an either-or situation, both statements can be true. I mean, jumping into AEW right now, their big old story, what are we talking about? Jon Moxley is storming around with the Blackpool Combat Club as the AEW World Champion, and he's basically insinuating, I don't like what this promotion has become, so I'm gonna tie like a noose around its neck and drag it to where I want it to be. I mean, he's a really funny chap. The whole core of this is that he has taken the whole thing hostage because he wants to light a fire under the young guys. Apparently, he's about to change his name from the BCC to the Death Riders, so we're gonna have to throw another one on the crown counter. You can't walk around calling yourself the Death Riders. Ever since this has gone down, though, I would say that we have shone a light on 4 very specific individuals. Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Private Party, Daniel Garcia. Now let's go through their respective ages. Why not? 40, 31, 27, and 30 respectively, 26. And how do I, Simon Miller, the board a-hole, feel about this? Don't care. Because again, of course, listen, I'm not saying otherwise. You have to have some people that are going to appeal to your younger demographic, especially if you are AEW, because right now we are in the trenches and we are trying to get those numbers up. And while it's great to get more 50-year-olds tuning in, it's not as exciting as getting those 18 to 34s. And the whole vibe beforehand was that they were the cool promotion. Listen, if you are older than the average bear, I don't want to be this guy, but it's just true, I don't make the facts. For some reason, you can't be cool unless you have like lovely skin and all of your hair. So I'm totally bold. The thing is though, that was 5 years ago and you can't expect to rest on that forever. A huge reason for the whole, oh my gosh, they're so hip, is because they were brand new, which means you have to change with the times. If we get into this overall average age as well, I think there's a very obvious reason. Watch Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Jeff Jarrett, and well, really, that's it. Because there is this bizarre idea that all AEW is go around hiring the old guard from WWE, but you wouldn't put Adam Cole in this list, he's still a young guy, and don't start writing one about Bobby Lashley, even though he did just debut on AEW Dynamite. That tweet came out like 2 weeks before people even knew what was going on. Mostly though, if they have something to offer the promotion and we can feel that deep down in our Tootsie Toes, that's all the justification that I think we need. And I don't want to judge where a human being is in their life. I just want to put my butt in a seat and then say, are they entertaining me or do we need to do something else? Sometimes it's going to be column A, and sometimes it's going to be column B. Because certain people are just going to appeal to certain individuals, and I suppose we should probably put Chris Jericho in there, because he's an older chap, but you are still going to get a few people that may be flicking through channels and see Chris Jericho and go, well, I remember him from WWE. Maybe I'll check out what else is going on. And of course, it's going to be less now in 2024, and he shouldn't be dominating the airwaves. But it goes back to the magic word that I'm going to keep saying throughout this video. It's all about balance. So if all of a sudden we do go back to the BCC storyline, which I think is the idea here, and it's more important than just looking at numbers. Aside from Moxley talking about the soul of the promotion, if you go and listen to all the interviews he's doing recently, he keeps talking about AEW's future. It doesn't mean in 1 year or 2 years, he's talking about 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, maybe even 20. He wants All Elite Wrestling to be around for the long haul, so even when it's like 2091, you have WWE, you have New Japan, and yes, you have AEW. So he's not even actually referring to himself when he is talking about all of this. He is talking about the youth, and that we have to make sure we focus on them and craft them into stars. Whether you like it or not, wrestling is about superstardom. And he's not trolling you either. This isn't just, haha, it'll be fun to say. That is not his style. I mean, if you read Jon Moxley's book, He may be the most serious guy in all of wrestling, and I mean that as a positive. Ultimately though, yes, AEW does need a boost at the moment, but you can't all of a sudden go too far in one direction, because then you're forgetting about the other things, and there's so many attributes that you need to throw out there. So a fan does decide, I only have so many entertainment minutes in a week, I will dedicate it to All Elite Wrestling. If nothing else, how can you expect to establish Daniel Garcia in this role if he doesn't beat some people that have been established for years? If he just beats other random guys, all of us nerds go, well, it didn't even mean anything anyway. It's like all this Hurt Business, or excuse me, Hurt Syndicate stuff with Swerve Strickland. That is coming across like a mega program, and not only Strickland defeats Shelton Benjamin, who has now been rebuilt into this beast, but he is going to take on Bobby Lashley, and actually we can see what AEW does here, because it's going to give us a lot of answers. And it's totally fine if Bob wins a match or two, but Strickland should be the guy coming out the other side with the big victory, because you want to talk about cool young dudes. Go and give the medal to Swerve Strickland. Even then though, when you break it down, it's not older guy versus younger guy, it's just person we've been watching for ages versus person we're in love with right now. That's the secret source of sports entertainment. Darby Allin is somebody else that clearly we have big plans for in AEW, and probably even a world title reign. You can't come into my house, we can if I invite you, but don't just march in and tell me he doesn't have a relationship with the youth of today. He most definitely does. I mean, he's basically TikTok in walking form. Once again, though, going back to that final point, I am more interested in star power than anything else. So sure, CM Punk walking out the door is always going to hurt, but do you know who could re-arrive at any time? It is Kenny Omega. When that happens, let's hope we get the NJPW Ken, because maybe ever since 2019 we did try something new, which was totally fine, but now we need the cleaner back. It just seems silly to go and address all these AEW issues, but then also say, I know you wanted to do something new, but not that, try something else. We haven't even given it a chance. And also, if it does fail, there's nothing wrong with this either, because we all have a list of life of things we want to do. While we always want to put a tick next to those things, do you know what is equally as important? Crossing things out. Because if you don't know what you don't want to do, how are you going to know what you do want to do? Exactly. Just think we need to keep an eye on this World Championship programming, because something big is coming. And once again, Bryan Danielson didn't murder himself on TV for nothing. I'm sure it was explained to him and he was like, all right, sounds great. So I, for one, I'm not going to worry about age, especially because, I'll be in that bracket soon and I still want to have opportunities. But we can play the boring old game of looking at the other side too. If we do start stripping all this all back, it means no Damian Priest, no LA Knight in 2024. And they've been two of my favorite guys. Again, I don't care about the number after the name. I'm just bored of constantly throwing around statistics and numbers because it wears me out. And the real nuts and bolts of the whole thing should always be about your content. I mean, honestly, if you had a bunch of llamas running around, but you can make it compelling, cool. I will watch and then question my life choices, but I do that every single day anyway. I mean, I basically explained The Emperor's New Groove. Have you seen that film? When you learn about the behind the scenes, it was total chaos. But as a movie on a Sunday afternoon, well, it's pretty damn great. And the discourse will continue, of course, but I really do think we need to get into 2025 and see what AEW does do with all of this. And if nothing else, if I was managing a wrestling company and I had this roster of talent, well, I would be doing the dance of joy, because I have the young guys, I have the old guys, I have the experienced guys, I have the WWE guys, and I've got flipping a card, Nobody can beat me. It just feels like it's going to be a special year all around from a WWE side of things too. And I really enjoy the fact that everybody is still jumping ship. And of course, we can revisit this in July 2025. And if AEW hasn't turned around, then yeah, sure, they should be trying something new. But as ever, I am going to put positivity out into the world and remind you that it doesn't matter about the three initials above the door. It matters about pro wrestling. That's what brought us to the dance. That's what will send us out the dance hall too. Don't really know how to end videos anymore. Mostly because, yes, I am becoming an old man. Damn. Now listen, as always, when we do videos like this, people go crazy in the comments, but be honest with me, go through the AEW roster and find someone, you're just gonna say Chris Jericho. Don't do Chris Jericho. But find people that go, oh, they're too old and they're ruining the TV. More often than not, I just don't think it's the case. Also, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe, and interact with this video as much as possible. You can even just touch the screen if you want, although that won't do anything. And if your mum walks in, she can think you're really weird. And there's a video on the screen right now. Give that a click instead. So if you do have a touch screen, you can touch it, but get yourself off the screen. What are you doing? Clean your room. Thank you very much for coming as always, though, my friends. My name is Simon Miller, and I appreciate all of you, and I love wrestling discourse. Don't forget that either. It's fun to have a chat about this kind of stuff. What brings us together, and what separates us too. Goodbye.